Viva! 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 little bit behind because the president is about to come out. Hello, Presto. Hello, Presto. One step behind you. Viva Dr. Viva! Viva! Viva Student Power! Viva! Viva! Viva Debt Restructuring! Viva! Viva! Bamaku! Bamama! Viva Bari! Viva! Viva! Zesco! Viva Silva, viva! Viva! Mamanku! Mamoma! So, kipendeko cha left pangono, dressers. Viva Tata, viva! Viva Student Boy, viva! Mamanku! Slotan, zesko. Bakateka mashina andine wo viva mobile bakateka my name is Amula Joseph, known as Unza Big Joe, from the University of Zambia. I'm studying business administration and development studies. I'm in double major. I'm in third year. Mr. President, before we start, allow me to welcome the foreign institution. We have the NRDC, University of Zambia, we have CBU, we have Kleso, NRDC, yeah, Nawambi Washa. So Wakateka, before Mr. President, before I go allow me to
Viva Transpower, viva! Viva Transpower, viva! Mr. President, as you can see, this is a joyous moment.
Why not?
On behalf of the President, allow me to welcome you to Community House. This community house belongs to you. You are welcome. Mr. President, as the moderator was saying, we have just been briefed. Out of their own evolution, students from many institutions in Zambia have come together. Yes, as I was saying, Mr. President, students from many institutions. Where you are, if before you, Mr. President, are students from the University of Zambia. Before you, Mr. President, are students from the Evelyn Hall. Before you, Mr. President, are students from NIPA. University. Before you, Mr. President, are students from Greso. Before you, Mr. President, are students. Everybody sees. There's Palavana University. There's Chalibana University. There's Copperbelt University. Across the country. The members say, Mr. President, India is so free, Nelia she, Yan so full. Mr. President, students have refused to be left behind in the happiness, in the joy that is happening in this country, especially after what you did. Zambia was meant to believe, Mr. President, that in order to achieve a certain feat, as far as debt restructuring is concerned, resolving the debt crisis, which the previous regime left in this country, was so complex such that it was an impossibility, because some spent 10 years trying to resolve that issue. They failed. So what was remaining, Mr. President? Thank you so much. So, without taking much of your time, allow me to say this is the joyous moment you have seen, Mr. President, of students who have come here out of their own evolution to show their serious solidarity, Mr. President, with you, Mr. President. So, back to the moderator. Mr. Moderator, big job.
At this point, allow me to call upon Mr. Akahinde Ichirema, known as Barry. Okay. Babanku, sorry. Allow me to call Mr. Joseph Muteba. Sorry, can you come in front? From Unza. Okay. Unzaso Finance Minister. Bill Charwe.
No. Another one?
Bill Charwe. Vincent Sakala. Michelo Chizombe. National Council of Students Union Chairperson. So, Mr. Zambena, sir, you can start. I'm speaking to you. Yes. Viva student power, viva! Viva! Viva Mama, viva! Viva! Viva Monk, viva! Viva! On behalf of 30,000 students at the University of Zambia, we're here to appreciate the President for the various things that he's actually doing for us. We would say that this year is a miraculous year. The first thing we noticed was at the University of Zambia we had an increment of meal allowances. This came as a result of his government, and we appreciate that. This year also was coupled with an increment in accommodation allowance. From 1,000 to 3,900. These are things that we actually should thank the President about. However, we are here because we want to appreciate the President about a great milestone that has been attained. An achievement that we thought it was not possible. This is about the debt restructuring. They told us that it was not possible, but it has actually been attained. About over 3.5 billion has been restructured. Now, there were those who thought that this would not have any impact on our economy. Few hours just after the restructuring, we noticed dollar started to appreciate. Kwacha started appreciating. Mr. President, sir, on behalf of 30,000 students at the university, we appreciate you. We thank you very much. Now we know that the money which was being used to pay the debt, that money will be being used to give. Monko and Mama, I want you to listen. The money that was being used to service the debt, now we know that money is going to attend to more universities. We expect more numbers to increase of those that will be being sponsored, because our president is the working president. Mr. President, we appreciate you.
Student power, viva! Viva student power, viva! Wamonku! Wamoma! Allow me to appreciate the President for what he has done. Let me appreciate the President, the debt relief that he has managed. No president in this country managed to restructure the debt that we had. And let me speak about that debt, because we are having an increase in number of pupils who are receiving free education. Let me give you the data that's there. Before the President came in, we had 4 million pupils in this country. When the President came in, the free education came in, that number was increased to 6 million. Means that this country had about 2 million pupils who are unable to attend their primary and secondary education. And this coming of the debt relief, we are expecting that numbers to increase. Let me also give you, if you have seen, there is an increase in the number of enrollment in the higher learning institution. And with that, the manifestation of the increase of the number of pupils in the lower education. Let me also appreciate the President. 10.5 million kwacha 3 years ago was donated to Ivory Known to improve the sanitation of the institution. And Mr. President, I really appreciate on behalf of more than 10,000 students at Ivory Known College. Not only that, the President came in and donated the bowl. Mr. President, allow me to tell you that there is no more water challenge at Ivory Known College. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
president was elected in 2021, he said, I will introduce free education. Immediately formed government, free education was reintroduced. The president said, we will recruit 30,000 teachers. What has never happened in our history? That happened. Not only did he recruit 30,000 teachers, he recruited 11,000 health workers. Not only that, the president came to NIPA. He said, we cried. He said, I'll give you a bus. And just now, we are receiving a bus. He said, who work on the challenges of water. The president came and commissioned the board.
Unokwatiriri kunyumba kwatu paseni manja Bamonku. Last week pa social media vajomene wamanama wenye vanati uzati debt restructuring has collapsed.
Okay. That's the thing now. Are you sure?
Didn't you see that? Didn't you see that? Was it true? No. Few days later. When we saw that news, as the students, Mr. President, we were worried because we were scared to say the meal allowances that you restored, if the debt restructuring deal has collapsed, it means you now be compelled to pay back without these students having meal allowances. Now we have relief. Yes, sir. Because we have a focused president, a visionary president, with a capable team. They managed to restructure the debt. Not only did they do that, they did it in a very special way. What was that special way? They didn't hire anybody to consult on their behalf. They did it themselves. Wapaseni manja. Bamanku, what the debt relief means to you and me is that our parents back home, they will continue relaxing because Bali will pay. Bamanku, back in the years, when we were very young, we knew that the copper belt was the hub of this country's economy. Over the past years, the copper belt was turning into a white elephant. Miners were losing jobs. What that meant is that our parents were losing money to send us to school. A year ago, the president assured this country, he assured our parents, he assured us to say he's going to unlock the mining sector on the copper belt. Bamanku, true to the president's words, Mopani was open. Our parents on the copper belt, they are getting jobs to provide food at home so they can have 3 meals a day, so that our brothers who are not in government facilitated schools, they can be paid for. Mr. President, a few years ago, it was scary to walk in town because there was a mushrooming of junkies. But today, Bamanku, our young brothers and sisters who were idling in on the streets, today they are in school via free education. What that means, 10 years from now, we are going to have an enlightened and educated country. Babanku, Mukulekeresha, Mr. President, we want to thank you because you have cancelled registration fees in university. We want to thank you. Registration fee. Last but not the least, accommodation allowance has been increased. Bamanku. On behalf of this students, Mr. President, we want to thank you so much. Manja Kuriwa President.
Appreciate Mr. Hakainde Ichlema for his hard work and giving gratitude for the opening of the Mopani Mine Copper Belt, and him being the only president that has been able to pay back the debit over some years now. Mr. President, well done. Not only that, but also putting much effort in institutions, providing meal allowance. Not only that, but vulnerable people being provided bursaries. Mr. President, sir, without wasting much of your time, I call upon you to say a few words. Thank you.
Vamos, Sentimbe kwe chirimbo. Bari, bari. Bari wapa unga. Bari, bari. At this point, please allow me to welcome His Excellency.
Thank you. Viva Moma! Viva! Viva Moma! Viva! Viva Mo! Viva! Viva Bungwe! Viva! Okay, all right. First and foremost, I just want to welcome you here on behalf of my family, my wife, and children, and all the colleagues that we live with here. We have a small compound you saw inside here at the entrance there. So we live with a number of people here, and collectively, all of us welcome you here to this, your communal house. So, all of you colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, momas, monks, all bookworms, everybody is welcome here. Everybody. Secondly, is just to express our delight to you all for the initiative that you orchestrated, that you conceived deliberately, intentionally. TP511, huh? Yes, but we're coming. Okay, one moment, guys. Really, to reiterate what I said, just to thank you for just the initiative, the thought about you coming here to express your messages of appreciation for what we, your servants, have been able to do for the benefit of you and the totality of 20 million Zambians. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Now, I was talking about just the thought of it, but now let me come to the content, to the text, the issues that you raised here in your songs, in your expressions, in the colleagues that have spoken here. Your words are encouraging. Your words are touching, very positive, I must say. And that too, we say, Ziko Mukwambi. To that, we say, Taonga Chomen. that we say twatotela sana. To that we say twataizya. To that we say twasalivya. To that we say nitumeza huru. To that we say twasanta bingi. To that, guys, to that we say, listen, everybody say, to that we say, twasakwila chikuma. To that we say, tunasakiriri. To that we say, twalumba. So, here is just tidbits of what we have been able to achieve at your instruction. Because this work we do it at your behest, at your instruction. Because you put us in office to work for you. Simple and straight. So we know who instructed us to work for them. It is you. Yes. Especially Mayufi. So, here is where we are. Everybody's in. Guys, let's finish. We are always, all the time, conscious that we occupy these offices to work for you. That is clear in our minds. That is the direction you gave to us. We inherited a collapsed economy, a debt-ridden economy, an economy whose balance sheet could not balance. Who is doing accounting, economics, finance here? Very good. Very good. Okay, guys. The country, colleagues that were in office, you put in office, borrowed so much money, increased their liability by borrowing, isn't it? Yeah. I can talk a bit of technical stuff because you are intellectuals, isn't it? So they borrowed, which means the liability went up. Now, the rule of the balance sheet is that it is always double entry. If there's a liability increment, in order to balance the books, you must have an increase in the assets. Then you can balance. Right. In this case, colleagues borrowed and borrowed and borrowed, but the assets went down. So the country basically was bankrupt. That's the situation we inherited when you put us in office to work for you. There was a breakdown in the rule of law. You wouldn't move freely. If you wore a T-shirt which is red, you were lynched in town. You wouldn't move freely. Now, you put us to fix those problems. And to fix such problems, one has to think through. Not chip and tap and, eh? No. One has to think through. One has to put all these bits bits and pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together and begin to isolate them properly.
Yes.
If you don't do that, you won't get the job done.
Yes, Mr. President.
It takes a little bit of time.
Yes.
But I want to say at this point, thank you to you, the students, that were reasonably patient. Some were not patient, especially those who peed in the only well we were drawing water as a country. They went and peed in there. Forgive my language. Then we're trying to clean the well. They climbed the tree and said, "Oh, now I'm saying you don't do things like that. When you mess up, you support those who are working to solve a problem. And it's one issue, this debt issue, amongst many, is one where the country needed to have been together. All of us. Because the problems that were created affected everybody. You students. That's why your meal allowances were taken away. That is why there was no free education. That is why there was no skills training. You're lucky. You and I are lucky. You must always remember to go to college, NIPA, Ebrin Horn, to go to UNZA, you're lucky. Because millions of others like us have not had that opportunity. But we are all suffering. It was a degree of suffering. So we worked very hard on your instruction. Team. Yes. And we started dismantling and putting these bits and pieces together in an organized way, in a methodical way. Indeed. Are we together? Yes. Are we together? Yes. Vamoma, are we together? Yes. Ah, very good. Vamonko, are we together? Yes. Not to belabor the point, this was a complex exercise, I must admit. But with commitment, with diligence, due diligence, I must say, with multiple skills brought together, we have been able to do what others said, mission impossible. Are we together? Yes. We have achieved the Zambia Debt Restructuring Project. In summary, the meaning of this, let me put it in simple numbers. The meaning of this, take two columns. One column is the debt service we would have paid in 10 years without debt restructuring. Mulekutiga? Mulibungwa? Muliwile? Muleumfa? Very good. Very good. Very good. This column is without debt restructuring. This column is with debt restructuring. Without debt restructuring, column 1, or A, to simplify the class for this afternoon or early evening. Over a 10-year period, without debt restructuring, this country in debt service was going to pay somewhere in the order of $7.8 billion, which would have meant no enhanced meal allowance. It would have meant no, or keeping the registration fee in place. Accommodation allowance, we had no chance in hell, no headroom to increase these allowances. We had no chance in hell to continue with free education. Never. Impossible. Because $7.8 billion is a lot of money. Now, all this hard work we did with your support, the first line of support you gave us was to elect us into office. We thank you for that. We shall ever thank you for that. The second line of support you gave us was your relative patience to allow us to work. Because the problem was complex, compounded unnecessarily by a bit of mischief by those who were in office. But I'm not here to talk about them. They are gone. Vale, yeah. Again, batushe. Tell you. So your patience allowed us to do the mathematics. And led us to this position where we are with a debt restructuring, so column number B. So with this achievement, your achievement, we, your servants, have done something for you, so you have achieved. We are only your tools. We are only your agents. With the debt restructuring, over the same 10-year period, we will only now be required as a country to pay $780 million in the same 10 years. Wait. Let's put it in the annual figures, not to complicate the arithmetic, huh? Because many people complain about simple numbers. I wonder how you can run a country without basic numbers, because numbers don't lie. So on a yearly basis, without debt restructuring column 1, we are supposed to pay every year $780 million. With debt structuring, every year we are now required to pay only $75 million.
The next president as well. That's one.
It is a big issue. It's not a small issue. It's a very big issue. Because most of the resources meant for free education, meal allowances, fertilizer, meant for skills training, was all going to be gobbled into this debt service. That is why when the numbers were calculated, basically Zambia was not sustainable under the parameters that obtained. I think that must be understood by intellectuals like you. Yes. So that you can pass that message to family members, to friends, to show them the magnitude, the significance, the importance of what this debt restructuring is. Are we together? Yes. Are we together? Yes. Now, couple of things that sit in that, because you need to understand, in this reduction in the debt. So first, there's an overall reduction in the quantum of debt. Because I see people posting on social media, some opposition saying things, some even learned students are saying things that are not factual. To arrive at this, we've had to work on a couple of factors. Factor one was to negotiate for the total absolute debt reduction in present value terms, net present value terms, NPV terms, to equivalent over a 10-year period. We've been able to achieve the reduction in debt in absolute quantums. Don't be cheated. Because I heard someone in opposition saying, no, they've just rescheduled for the future generations to pay. No. Pardon. The issue is that we have put a plan in place and we are paying. Even this year we are paying. We don't want to encumber and lumber the future generation who are not responsible. We were not responsible, but because we are responsible, we are taking account of that. And so there's absolute, in net present value terms, a reduction in the total debt. Number two, we have been able to reduce the interest rates in many cases. Second factor. Number three, I'll just say it loosely, there's quite a couple of technicalities in there. We've been able to extend the repayment period. Just let me stay with these three factors. This is what has led to the numbers I've given in column A and column B. Tremendous work. Tremendous, monumental indeed. So don't listen to people posting that, no, they've just played with words and numbers. No. No. Ikonaman. So to conclude the story, colleagues, my dear friends, my dear fellow citizens, what your country, your servants, we've done for you, for the nation, is not a mean achievement. This has been done at a global platform called the G20 framework, the global financial framework, multilateral framework called the G20 framework. And before we won elections, courtesy of you, the voters, God's will, there were many countries ahead of us working to do exactly what we've done. We came in 2021, August, we got on to work. We have now overtaken all the countries and are the first ones to qualify across the world. As we stand today, Zambia is now being used as a case study. How to manage debt restructuring, how to negotiate, how to work your numbers properly, how to network globally. This servant of yours tonight will be speaking to President Xi Jinping. President Xi Jinping, ni hao. Ni hao. Servant of yours and my team members will be speaking to President Macron of France. President Macron, bonjour. That was part of the work we're doing, pulling the global network, old friends, acquaintances, friends of friends, invoking them to bring them to the table, in order to give you the two columns that I've talked about. More importantly, column B, dedication, commitment to duty. Sleepless nights. In Tonga we say, Kona umaulu. It means you are sleeping using your legs. The brain is alive throughout the night, isn't it? I've interpreted for you. Kona umaulu. But it means you are awake. The brain is working. Because when it's nighttime here, as it is about to be nighttime, it's early morning in America. So you have to talk to President Biden. So anyway, colleagues, I have summarized the effort. But this is only the beginning. We've also put in place, as a UPND New Dawn government, that will not allow another band of people to come in future to do what they've done to our country. We should never allow. Are you going to allow that to happen? Vamoma! 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 Are you going to allow this to happen? The choice, when you go to elections, going forward, Verani guys, going forward, when you go to elections, you must think through before you place your vote. You can vote for people that will damage your education and damage your future. I'm so grateful that you made that decision on the 12th of August 2021 to try us, to test us. Without this leadership, there would have been no debt restructuring. Don't listen to what they're saying that every government will have done it. Why didn't they do it? In the first place, why did they borrow so much? So anyway, guys, we, going forward, we must work as phone and SIM card. Are we together? To make sure now with this headroom we have created, we allow ourselves to work even more to now begin to turn the curve even more. Remember, we inherited an economy which had declined GDP by minus 2.8%. In 2 years, we bottomed it up to 4.3%. But we found COVID, then cholera came, then Chilala, drought. The Easterners say triple C, COVID, cholera, Chilala. Chilala, yes. Now, for us to defeat these vices, food security, yes, future food security for now, future food security, we must drift agriculture towards irrigation agriculture. We now need to remove these resource savings we have made, not to do similar bad things as was done in the past, but to move the money in investment expenditure so that we can generate revenues and work the economy, grow the economy. We can create jobs for you when you graduate. Like your colleagues who were employed as nurses, teachers, after waiting for 5-6 years. Doctors. But we also want to breed you guys as entrepreneurs. It's not good to use a personal example. I started working for myself at the age of 27. And we would like more of you to venture into self-employment, entrepreneurs. So that's why we are working on changing the curricula so that you can learn these skills early on, not just when you are at college or university, but from primary school. That's why we're investing in education. The best investment is education. The best inheritance is education. The best equalization is education. I think I've spoken.
The bourgeoisie themselves.
Yes. Out of 20 million people,
Vale.
We don't take that for granted.
Exactly.
We take it serious. And we must preserve it by working hard, working clever, working efficient.
Yeah.
God bless you all. Just to tell you that work has just started. We're not going to sleep. We have to continue delivering, such as what we did on Mopani, on KCM, on Mingomba project, on irrigation agriculture, on everything. Forex market is one of those. On managing inflation, managing exchange rate, but also making sure that all the provinces have at least one public university, each province. So I just wanted you to know that this is not like now we are going to sleep. We are going to even work harder. Are we together?
Yes,
sir. Viva Mongo, viva! Viva! Viva Stemba, viva! Viva! La Monka! La ichakosa. Unzavi, man for the people. Muntu wawoze, man for the people. Viva Mongo, viva! Viva Stempa, viva! Vamonku! Upon this point in time, I would like to give a vote of thanks to the Republican President on a few matters that the Zambian citizens and the students across the country have benefited. His Excellency, we want to say thank you. I wouldn't like to ignore this for the cancellation of registration. We would like to say thank you for the increment in new allowances, accommodation allowances. Viva Mangu, viva! Viva Sempa, viva! I would like to mention to the President that there are some students who couldn't afford a 1,500 in 365 days. But Manku, as the Students United, we went forward and submitted these issues, and the head of state, who is our father, led us. Bamonku, for the debt restructuring, the President has already mentioned. We already know that this initiative has been authorized by His Excellency, President Hakainde Hichilema, and not anyone else. We are aware that we have more resources in our reserves, we have more resources channeled in production, we have more resources channeled for EONANO, we have more resources channeled to free education. For this one to say we are grateful, and as the students want to say, we shall support the right cause. Mr. President, Your Excellency, Hakainde Hichilema, I want to say this. Viva Mangu, viva! Viva Stempa, viva! Vamonku! I would like to say thank you for the President for allowing us to come to this beautiful house. We don't take this for granted. It shows the heart that you have for the students. Your Excellency, before I close, I would like to mention this, the issue of accommodation, which has been a crisis at the University of Zambia. Your Excellency, I'm aware that you have been running up and down concerning the unfinished building. We would therefore like to request that whatever is happening behind scenes, it might be facilitated, because the population of students to hostels is very small. Vamonku, not only at the University of Zambia, not only at CBU, Mulungushi, Nipa, Evelyn Horn, Manawasa, we therefore, His Excellency, we are kindly asking if you can come on board, of which we have already seen you on board, but to speed up the process of finishing these hostels. In closing, we'd like to say thank you for coming.
The President, yes, thank you for doing what you've done. Continue doing what you have done. Nothing will stop me. If you want to stop me, just kill me. No, what a picture.
Kitchen. What the?
Yeah.